Hey guys, I'm Shreedeep, a junior doctor in the UK, and welcome to another one of my vlogs. So in this vlog, I'll be taking you on a 12-hour weekend shift. It's time for another doctor vlog. If you're new to my channel, I'm Shreedeep, a doctor in the UK, and I make videos on medicine, doctor vlogs, that kind of thing. And if you've seen my videos before and you're here for more, that rhymes. Thank you so much for supporting my videos. So weekend shifts as a doctor are really different to normal weekday shifts, and I hope you'll get a flavour of that in this video. And I'll be taking you on my 12-hour Saturday shift, which starts at 9 in the morning and finishes at 9 PM in the evening. I actually shot this video on Saturday. Today's Monday, so after working a weekend, we get 2 days off, so essentially Monday and Tuesday is our weekend. So this is going to be a bit of a time travel kind of thing. We're going to go back to Saturday and see what I got up to in my day. And actually something that's really sad is I'm nearly done with pediatrics. Like, I finished pediatrics at the end of March. So as a junior doctor, we have 4-month rotations and we move on to the next rotation. So my next rotation is in adult respiratory medicine, which I've heard is quite intense. So I'm really gonna miss distracting kids with Where's Wally or dinosaurs. I'm really gonna miss it. But let's get this video started. So we're gonna wind the clock back to Saturday, and yeah, I'll take you guys with me on my weekend 12-hour shift. I've just reached work, and on the way I was just thinking, everything's empty, the roads are empty, and then I realised why they're empty, because, it's a weekend, everyone's enjoying themselves or relaxing, and, I'm going to work. But the good thing about weekends is that you do learn a lot more, I think, because there's a limited team, there's fewer people in the team, so you do get more sort of hands-on, stuck in, involved, and you do, I think it's a better learning experience to be working on the weekends. So that's my car, and look how empty it is today. I mean, it's really easy to get a parking space. Normally this car park at 9 AM is fully full. But now it's time to get changed and head to ward round. It's so quiet, it's like the calm before the storm, before the day starts. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. So as I said before, this is the calm before the storm, because weekends are always hectic because there's less staff and also more patients, especially now because schools are opening up, more people are going out and also coming to A&E in terms of pediatrics especially, so there's a lot more patients to see, and so with the fewer staff it does make the weekends really busy, really stressful, and I really hope I can have some lunch today. I'm sure I will. It might be a bit late, but let's see. So I'm just in the changing room, as you can see, with all the scrubs, and I've just got changed. So we have ward round from 9 AM, so the consultant comes, we see all of the patients. So we see all of the patients who are on the ward and also the new admissions overnight. Because it's a Saturday and I was working this week, so I know most of the patients. I think there are 2 or 3 new patients. And in ward round, we review the new patients first, make sure the consultant sees them and has a definitive plan in place, and then we come up with our ward jobs. As I said, on weekends, the staffing is quite limited, so sometimes the registrar and SHO have to go down and see the new patients in A&E, and sometimes it's just me on the ward, but we can always contact our seniors for any help that we need. So because it's pediatrics, everything's quite foreign, everything's quite new, so it can get a bit panicky sometimes, what do we do, because we don't know the management that well compared to adult medicine. But there's always help and support when we need it, but sometimes, yeah, as an F1, sometimes we are left with the ward to manage. So I'll go to ward round and catch up with you guys after ward round. In ward round, we go around seeing all of the patients and review their progress, look at their recent blood test results and vitals, and then decide on the best management plan. Our jobs for the day then come from this ward round, so on the weekend there's fewer doctors, so I have to do a lot more writing and preparing the notes. We've just had a ward round, there's about 10 patients, so it's not quiet, it's not too busy, but now we've got a list of jobs that we need to do. There are some referrals, some bloods to do. The problem with weekends is it's really hard to get a lot of things done. For example, if we need an MRI for a patient, we'd have to wait for the week, we'd have to wait for the anaesthetic team if we need it under general anaesthesia. So a lot less can happen at the weekend because of, the staffing and the facilities as well. But we try and do what we can. We do the urgent jobs first. If we need urgent things doing, we always prioritise those, and things that can wait for the week, we leave for the week and hand over to the team who are working in the week. So my first job is to do some bloods on this baby who was brought in with jaundice and is being treated with phototherapy. So I'll talk to you guys about neonatal jaundice and the treatments available in a bit, but I'm going to go and do those bloods now. I start off by preparing my equipment to take heel prick bloods. I've described how to do this in my previous vlogs. So we send off bloods to the lab, and for this we have this really funky system known as pods, where basically the samples fly through this pipework to the lab. It's really cool when it works, and it's like magic, honestly. I just wanted to briefly talk about why treating neonatal jaundice is important, and yes, I'm at home and I'm shooting this after because I think I got really busy at the time and I didn't want to sort of rush the recording, so I thought I'd just chill at home and talk about why it's important. So jaundice is caused by high levels of bilirubin in the blood, and there are so many causes of jaundice, especially neonatal jaundice in the newborn period. We could talk for hours and like all day about all the different causes, but the key thing is that a high level of bilirubin can harm the brain if the bilirubin levels are really high in rare cases, and this is known as kernicterus. We use jaundice graphs to plot the level of bilirubin so we can monitor what the level is and if we need to treat it. So essentially on the graph we have two treatment lines. So if it's below the treatment line, it doesn't need treatment, it just needs monitoring and advice on feeding, etc. If it's above the first treatment line, we start them on something known as phototherapy, which is when we use light therapy to reduce the levels of bilirubin in the blood. If it's rarely above the second treatment line, the child would then need an exchange transfusion, which is essentially transfusion of blood. The main thing is making sure the bilirubin levels are safe, and one of the most common reasons that newborns have jaundice is because there's a high turnover of red blood cells, which causes a high level of bilirubin in the first place. Combining that with the inability of the liver to break this down and metabolize it properly, it can cause the jaundice, and usually this resolves over time. And the graphs that we use are also specific to how many weeks the baby was born at. So a baby who was born premature or too early, they would have a lower threshold for treating their jaundice compared to a baby who was born at term or, for example, after 38 weeks. So that jaundice baby's bloods are absolutely fine, so we're sending them home. The next thing is apparently there's some chocolate cake in the doctor's office, so I'm going to go and have a look. Apparently the consultants have brought in some chocolate cake for us working over the weekend, so let's see. Chocolate cake was real and it was so good. I mean, I love this chocolate cake with like flakes and buttercream, and even looking at it now and I'm recording this voiceover, it's just making me so hungry. It's 4 o'clock and I'm just about to have some lunch, so I've got some jerk chicken, and yeah, I know 4 o'clock sounds really late, but I just like to get everything done and dusted, so I don't like having lunch at 1 o'clock but then have like 5 jobs to do when I come back, because I realise I'm just thinking about all those jobs whilst I'm having lunch and it's not nice. So I like to relax and have lunch. So usually on weekends, weekdays are different, so I have lunch around 1, 2, but on weekends there's quite a few jobs, so I like to get most things done and then by 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock have lunch. So yeah. And at the moment we've got one more afternoon review to do for a patient with viral induced wheeze. So that's when they have a viral infection which causes reversible obstruction of the airways, and they can get quite unwell, have difficulty in breathing. And so what we need to assess is how they're doing, how their chest sounds, how they're feeding, how often they're needing their bronchodilators, which are the inhalers that open up the airways. And if they're stable, feeding well, chest sounds clear, we can think about sending them home. So I'm just going to assess them now and then come back to you guys. So luckily the patient was doing really well, so he was playful, alert, I listened to the chest, there were no real, wheeze sounds which were present when he was admitted, so the wheeze has improved after using the bronchodilators which open up the airways. So the plan is to continue the bronchodilators, but we give them a weaning protocol, which is essentially so they don't go home and stop the bronchodilators suddenly, because the wheeze can come back and the airways can become obstructed again. So we usually give them a salbutamol inhaler to go home on for a weaning protocol, which is where they use less and less every day, and after around 4 or 5 days they can stop using the inhaler completely and only use it when and if symptoms return. And yeah, it's really satisfying to see patients, get better, who were unwell first when they came to A&E, they were wheezy, they were really struggling to breathe, but when, they're given the right treatment, gives them time and feeding, they become, back to normal, they're doing well, they're playing, they're eating, and it's a really nice thing to see. And in terms of viral induced wheeze, we do have kids who are more unwell than others, but with the right treatment, it's really nice and really satisfying to see a good recovery. So it's nearly 5 o'clock, and on our normal days, weekdays at 5 o'clock, we have the handover where the day team hand over to the evening team who take over the care of the patient. But today it's just us again in the evening because we work from 9 to 9:30. So it's literally us all day. So there's no point of doing a handover because we just be handing over to ourselves. So we have regular catch-ups, but there's no formal handover at weekends. So we just hand over to the night team when we finish our shift. So handover's done. I finally finished my 12-hour shift on Saturday in paediatrics. I'm going to head to the car park now to go home, get some food, because I'm going to be back here tomorrow morning again for another 12-hour shift. Then I get 2 days off, finally. Home time, finally. An almost empty car park at night. It's pretty scary, but let's head home. So I'm home, guys, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on my weekend shift. Honestly, you guys don't know how much it actually means that you guys are watching my videos. I really, really, really appreciate it. If you have any video suggestions or anything you'd like to see next, please do let me know down in the comments below, or if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to ask them down below. And I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I hope you found it useful. If you'd like to check out my other vlogs, they're all on this channel. And so yeah, that's it. So take care, stay safe, and see you guys next time.